Good afternoon, fellow aquarium scientists. Hope everybody is doing well. Let me know if you can hear me, see me okay. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. Hello there, Silver Creek. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope all is well. These and Ginger, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. So we'll give a couple of minutes for people who would like to join us to join, but basically it's going to be a short live stream. Um, unless chat is active. Just wanted to go over some updates that have been going on. I haven't been live in a little bit. Talk about a few things that have happened throughout the 1 or 2 weeks. Um, I just got one update on Atlantic Aquariums, I promise. And then I thought we would go over, because I meant to go over the little goodie bag that I got when I joined the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society. Um, I was actually planning on showcasing it when I did the live stream with Ian, but unfortunately I forgot, as usually it happens. But yeah, that's pretty much what this live stream is going to be about. Of course, as always, if you guys have any questions or anything, you're more than happy to put it in chat, and I'll do my best to get to it. Hello there, Dee Dee. Thank you very much for stopping by. Jeff Kane, welcome, my friend. Listening and driving. Well, make sure you're focusing on the road and not me. Stay safe out there. Okay, so what do I want to start off with first? And I'll get the Atlantic Aquarium stuff out of the way. So, I've been a little busy getting the pond section of Atlantic Aquariums ready, because in certain parts of the US, people are getting into pond season. Here in the north, it's still a little chilly, so not a lot of people are getting into the swing of pond season. But nonetheless, doesn't mean I shouldn't be getting ready for it. So let me just give me 1 second, guys. I was running a little late because I had to run some errands, so I wasn't able to prepare properly. But let me share my screen real quick. Um, Thank you, Zen, for sharing the link. I appreciate it. So basically, you go to store. There's a whole section, pond supplies. And Atlantic Aquariums is a proud retailer of Aquascape Inc. You may have heard of them. If you're familiar with Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, he's the owner, founder, and owner of Aquascape, and we only carry Aquascape stuff. So I like their products. I like their pond designs, the way they train. Train your local landscapers, water feature contractors on how to properly use their products to create beautiful water features. I just love their stuff. So we only carry Aquascape supplies. Obviously, they have way more stuff than what you're seeing, but I am in the process of trying to get stuff um, on the site. Um, if you are looking for something that is not listed, just shoot me an email and I'll help you out. And then um, in the plant and macroalgae section, there is a category called pond plants, and that is predominantly your lilies, things like that. So I am in the process because one of the wholesalers I get plants from, they're starting to carry the the lilies and whatnot. So I'm slowly doing my research because, to truth be told, I am not that familiar with pond lilies. So I am doing my best to do as much research as I can. Trying to carry mostly hardy lilies, lilies that, depending on your zone and things like that, will overwinter. You can always bring them inside as well. I've seen a lot of people bring their lilies indoors, keep them in like those Rubbermaid stock totes, and just overwinter them and then bring them back out into their pond afterwards. Um, but I need to do more research on the lilies that are available to me to get, and then also I need to reach out to the wholesaler to see how they ship them. Like, are they bare rooted? Are they potted? Like, what's the situation? Do I have to set up a tote outside to hold them? Um, so stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much it for in terms of any updates on Elango Aquariums. Just wanted to do a shameless plug on the pond stuff. So let me stop sharing that. Um, Hello, Fish Family. Thank you very much for stopping by. YFI, welcome. Hello there, Legacy. I bet Kelly would gladly tell you the best lilies to start with. I'm not starting with lilies. I'm just putting them on the store to offer to people who want lilies. Because I have access to hardy lilies, so lilies that are hardy. I also have access to lilies that are more in the tropics, so those are predominantly lilies that don't necessarily overwinter, so they're just a one time thing, from my understanding. Um, Hopefully one day I'll be able to have my own pond and then keep lilies and, get experience from there. But for now, I'm just doing my research, reading my literature, things like that. Okay, so that's the spiel for Atlantic Aquariums. So get that out of the way. Um, Fish are doing okay. Plants are doing okay. I have to do a water change on this tank here because I am battling diatom algae. I have to do some trimming on some of the plants where I'm seeing diatom algae, and then I'm going to be doing a water change where I'm going to be mixing my tap water with distilled water to hopefully keep the silicates low, because diatom algae, that's how they proliferate, is through the silicates in the water. But also, I mean, this tank has been basically restarted so many times; it's just going through its ugly phase. But um, I hate the ugly phase. I like my tanks to be perfect, so I'm gonna do my best to battle it as much as I can. But also being patient enough that hopefully it'll just pass. But because this is a retail tank, not a display tank, I am a little concerned, and I need to deal with it. So tissue culture plants are doing okay. There are one or two cups that are starting to go, but other than that, nothing too major. The guppies are doing okay. I have lost a few fry from the endlers, but um, nothing too major. Everybody's happy. Everybody's eating well, so that's good. Um, and then I thought that I could go over this little goodie bag that I got um, from the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society for joining becoming a member of the club. And I didn't really look through it that much, but I did pull out when I was there. I did pull out the Reef Hobbyist magazine just to take a gander at it. And it's interesting because if you guys remember when I did the live stream with Ian, I basically announced that Atlantic Aquariums is carrying the new AI pumps, and this is how I found out that AI had new pumps. And then I went ahead and did my research and looked at one of my I looked at the wholesaler that I get AI from. And then you can also see the wave maker, the gyre pumps are there too. So that's how I discovered that, which I thought was very funny. Um, but yeah, there's mostly literature in here. Um, you've got the ITS products, their testing kits, whatnot. Um, Hikari, which I'm not surprised. Even the bag is from Hikari, which is cool. I like Hikari. They've got some really cool stuff. I actually feed the Hikari baby brine to my fry for the Vienna guppies and the endlers. And then just a little introduction of the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society. Um, ooh, we got a nice goodie bag here. Got this little care package, I'm assuming, starting with the aquatic gardener, which actually Jen Williams in the this past Keystone Clash gave me like a whole stack of these just to hand out. And I still have a few that if somebody buys plants from me, I'll plop this in there if I know that they haven't, if they're buying plants from me for the first time, if they're a first time customer, I'll pop this in there just for some inspiration. And then what do we got here? We got another issue of the Reef Hobbyist as well as the Aquarium Hobbyist, and that's the cover, which is really nice. This is volume 5, fourth quarter 2021. So these are old issues. And so is the Reef Hobbyist one. And then oh, we got eShops, um, eShops, what you call it, Prodigy, which is the weir for the sump. Yeah, that was a fail. I knew that was gonna happen. And then what do we got here? We got Accurel F, the original and clearly the best. What is this? I'm not familiar with this. Keeps aquarium water crystal clear. Oh, it's an aquarium clarifier. So got that. Not too familiar with that. And they've got Tetramin flakes. I haven't used Tetra in a while. Let me move stuff to the side because stuff everywhere here. And then we got, oh, I did not even know we had these. But we got Cobalt Aquatics beta pellets. Definitely couldn't use those because I have a beta. I haven't finished the food that I'm feeding it right now. Because you don't feed a lot to your beta anyway, so you're only feeding like a couple of pellets anyway. So if you have like a can of beta food, that beta food will last you for a while. So sorry guys, trying to put the stuff back, but that's pretty much it. Pretty cool. A lot of literature, which I don't. You guys, if you guys know me well, I never say no to literature. Just need to find the time to read it. But I like reading through the Reef Hobbyist, Aquarium Hobbyist. Sorry, wasn't paying attention to chat. It's Jenna. Hello, Jenna. I was very upset yesterday because I made sure to even hit the notify bell to make sure that I don't miss the the Fish Fam Link haul giveaway, and I still missed it. But I watched the replay. Um, Zen says, I always wondered, are silicates the same thing as silica sand? Does that make diatom any worse or totally a different thing? So yeah, silica sand has silicates in it. It's mixed reaction. Some people have never had a lot of issues with diatoms with silica sand. Others have. From my understanding, it is a source of silicate, um, which um, which feeds the diatoms or the brown algae, which isn't a true algae because it's not a plant; it's a diatom. Um, but yes, basically, if you're getting brown algae, it's like what Steven and mentioned in what was it? What your plants? That it's basically just going through it. It's part of the ugly phase or the new tank syndrome, right? Because in a lot of in a lot of water sources, especially city water, they're treating the water and all that, and you can have silicates in it. That's why it's actually important, in my opinion, to do a master test of your water, like an ICP analysis of your water, because it does tell you if there are silicates in there, from my understanding. Um, and you can determine, if it's a lot of silicate, then you might want to dilute it by adding distilled water to the water you're about to put in. But if it's not as high, you don't really need to worry about anything, and hopefully the silicon source will just, you know finish itself enough that the diatoms will go away. There's also bacterium that will actually feed on brown algae. I know that Brightwell Aquatics has something. I can't remember. One of the representatives for Brightwell, who's a good friend of mine, or meeting her at Reefapalooza last year, and I was talking to her about brown algae, and she told me something that does help. Obviously, she said, do when you do water changes, add some distilled water to get the silicates down. But then she also told me about this one product that they have, that basically cleans that brown algae off. I need to double check and look into that, because I might end up using it for the plant rack, or the tank right here. Um, but yeah, because with this tank, I actually had to drain it, not drain it down, but I brought the water level down enough because I had to transport the plants to the event that I was going to this past Sunday, which I'll actually talk about a little bit. Um, and so that gave me an excuse to clean the racks as well as scrub the tank of the diatoms. And I did a big water, well, not, yeah, I did a big water change. Um, and it did well and it was okay for a while, but it is due for another water change, and there's a little bit of diatom showing on the glass, so I'm gonna scrub that down, trim some of the plants because I'm starting to see some brown algae growing on some of the plants, um, which isn't the end of the world, but yeah, other than that, everything is fine. Oop, chat's glitching here. Zen says, I seem to remember I got the same amount of diatoms, regardless, about 2 to 3 weeks on any new tank. Maybe it's in my water too then. Yeah, and like I said, it is part of the ugly stage, so you're going to get diatoms anyway. Excuse me. You just want to you just want to be patient and make sure that your tank is nicely balanced, and it should work itself out. Obviously, do water changes if you are having issues with brown algae. Just do your water changes. If obviously you're having a lot of brown algae issues, there is most likely silicates in your water. Just dilute it a little bit with distilled water if you have it, um, and it should help. Because it is not an algae, light is not an issue. Light is not a factor in from my understanding for the cause of diatoms. It's mostly silicates because that's what the body of the diatoms are made of. If it's a silicate. Have you ever looked at diatoms under a microscope? They make some really cool looking artistic kaleidoscope like designs in their cell structures. Yes, they do. I've definitely seen some under a microscope. It's the silicates. That's how you get that cool little thing. Um, right. So let's talk about the event that I was at this past Sunday. So if you guys remember, this past Sunday at least, I didn't do a live stream because I was going to be going over to my university, Stockton University, for the second annual Fishapalooza event. Now, here's the story. So last year it was Fishapalooza. It was the first time that the aquarium and the Stockton Aquarium and Aquaculture Club held an event dedicated to all things aquariums, freshwater and saltwater. We had a good turnout of vendors, and but not a good amount. Well, we had the okay. So the reason we had a good turnout of like students is because there were other events going on at the time. Um, and there were like tours going on for potential students, things like that, and so they were stopping by to see what was going on. Not a lot of people from outside the Stockton community who were in the aquarium community, from what I could tell, came. Um, But we were very hopeful. We got a lot of donations from companies and things like that for the raffles and things like that. And they were hopeful to hopefully improve for the coming year, things like that. I even tried to find a way to host a aquascaping workshop at the event for this year. Then what I wasn't able to happen, but um when they announced the event for vendors. So first of all, regardless of my views on it, there's no fee for vendors to vend at Fishapalooza. It's free, and it's free to come to the event. You don't have to pay a ticket or anything. You just show up, and it's the same thing for the vendors. You just email the club that, hey, I want to come and vend. You let them know if you need electricity, and you'll get one table and two chairs or one chair, and that's it. If you want to donate stuff for the raffle, it's greatly appreciated. Um, when they announced the date for this year's Fishapalooza, that they were looking for vendors, I obviously reached out and said Atlantic Aquariums will become a vendor. And I got a reply saying that great. We're still trying to work things out. So once everything is settled, we'll reach back out to you. Cool, no problem. It's definitely not an easy thing for a club to do is to arrange an event for something like that, right? And um, did not hear anything about it afterwards. Was getting a little concerned because we were getting close to the March 24th date. And so I reached out to the club to basically figure out, what was going on. Is it still happening? Because I haven't gotten any emails. Because last year there was good communication from the club to the vendors, right? But not this year. And I finally got a reply, not from the Aquarium and Aquaculture Club, but from another organization, student-run organization or student club called Water Watch. And from what they told me was that Fishapalooza was basically has now for this event, this year's event basically merged with another event that was happening that same day called the Environmental Forum. And so anybody that was participating as a vendor for Fishapalooza would be obviously coming on that same date, but it's not Fishapalooza, it's the Environmental Forum. And I was like, okay, that's fine by me. And I basically went on to PR overdrive and started to basically post everything I can regarding that on all the forums that I'm part of, the clubs that I'm a part of, just to let people know that hey, Fishapalooza is still going on, but it's not Fishapalooza, it's the Environmental Forum for this year. This is the time and all that, yada yada yada. Keep in mind at the time I still was not, because communication was very good last year with the vendors, and not only that, the president last year, she would basically send out a mass email to everybody. So I had a good idea of how many vendors there were going to be, obviously, right? But this year I had no idea how many vendors were going to be there. And so I get there, I bring my stuff. I get there. I actually didn't bring everything there because I just wasn't sure um, what the turnout was going to be like, right? Because when I vended last year, I brought the entire Atlantic Aquariums thing set up, and didn't really sell much. Um, and so I didn't bring a lot of stuff, but I still brought fairly good amount of stuff. Like I basically they had 3 tables set for me, and they were large tables. They were like 8-foot tables, and I still covered all 3 of them, and um, didn't bring a lot of plants either. And I was there and um was trying to see if there were any other aquarium vendors there, and it was basically me as a business, and then a representative from Awaze was there, or Awaza, or however you pronounce it. I say Awaze. um there was a representative from Awaze there, so me and him were the only aquarium related exhibitors slash vendors at the event, plus the table for the aquarium and aquaculture club, and which was sad to see. And then I later found out from the current president of the club what happened, and it was basically like there were a few other vendors, one in particular that just never replied back. They were interested in vending, but then just never replied back or anything regarding that. Um, there were a few people coming for Fishapalooza. They mentioned Fishapalooza by name, and the the president of the club came up to me and he asked me, he was like, do you have any idea how the word for this event is going out? Like, how are people knowing about this? Because we want to push the event for next year. And I told him, I said that it's basically me posting the flyer. You guys post it to all the aquarium clubs I'm a part of, all the forums. I'm a YouTuber I'm a YouTuber, to an extent. So I spread the word out through that, um, and that's basically how the word got out. I tried pushing for people to come and vend. I tried pushing for people to come to the event. If you're watching or anything like this and you did come to the event, first of all, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And also, I'm very sorry for the fact that there wasn't a lot of stuff there. Um, that's not what happened to this year did not happen last year. It was actually, we had a good vendor turnout, a good selection of saltwater and freshwater stuff. Um, but yeah, because it's a new event. It's the second year, and it's we're still trying to get the word out, right? Um, but I'm definitely going to reach out to the club again. And figure out a way or a plan to make Fishapalooza the event it's supposed to be. Um, I'm gonna try and reach out to clubs in the area, like the NJ Reefers Club or the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society or anything like that, to hopefully partner with the Stockton Aquarium and Aquaculture Club and to make Fishapalooza an event worth going to, because it is definitely an event worth going to. It's definitely an event that is obviously supporting the Stockton Aquarium and Aquaculture Club, which is a student-run club. Um, it's the only student-run club, from my understanding. Um, hopefully inviting guests, guest speakers, doing workshops like an aquascaping demonstration, things like that. Things that when I was the president of that club, when I founded the club, I wanted the event to be. And I by no means am blaming the club, the current executive committee of the club, because they're currently dealing with a lot of issues. Unfortunately, our aquaria lab that we had at the Marine Field Station, we're being asked to leave, because they're doing renovations, at that lab, and from our understanding, they're not going to want aquariums back in that lab. They want to repurpose the wet lab for other things, most likely for the oceanography sector more than the biology sector. And so the club is currently trying to find a new location, which, from my understanding, they have. It's an old greenhouse and in one of the buildings on main campus. The issue is the climate control for that greenhouse is very old and does not work. So it can get up to about 110 degrees in that greenhouse. Like, it gets hot in that greenhouse. And it is not ideal for us to keep anything there. Now there is a indoor room that is climate controlled. There's air conditioning there and things like that, which they definitely want to utilize. But then there's also, the issue where, because nobody's ever kept animals in that location, the organization um, uh, that deals with the use of vertebrate animals in academia, IACUC, they have to actually send people to the greenhouse to basically do a, a an analysis of it to determine whether or not it is appropriate or if it is animal ready, which it is not. We know that iCook isn't going to approve it, because it's just way too hot in there. But there is a room that, if they can acquire that, at least they can move the corals to that area. Um, but if they're able to fix the climate control of that greenhouse, they can do a lot of stuff in there. And I told one of the people, who's a good friend of mine, that's part of the executive committee. I was like, if you can figure out a way to get a grant or some form of financial help to fix the climate control of that greenhouse, you guys should be good to go. I even told him, I was like, talk to the dean of NAMS, figure out a way, talk to the professors, find a way to, if there's anything out there that they can apply for to get a grant to hopefully fix the climate control system for that greenhouse. But as of right now, that's probably going to be the new wet lab, the new aquaria lab. But it's been a headache, and they've been trying to the club has been trying to figure all that out, and I guess just haven't been able to really, um, focus on Fishapalooza as well as they wanted to. So by no means is it the club's fault. But you know, after seeing how this year's event went, I really, really want to help them as much as I can to make Fishapalooza the event that we all want it to be. Um, but yeah, so basically, me and Owaze were the only vendors slash exhibitors there. I didn't sell anything. Um, excuse me, but it is what it is. So that was Sunday, and what else did I want to talk about? Oh yes, so um, I should have talked about this first, um, but for whatever reason I was holding it back. But now I'm just gonna um take a few moments to talk about talk about something that most of us are aware of and a lot of us in the community have already talked about, but I wanted to just give my 2 cents and I'm going to leave it at that. Um, um, Not too long ago, we've lost a very important person in the community. Somebody that I have to be honest with you, I didn't know well enough. I am new to the fish fam. You know, I know not all of you, but most of you by name at this point. But I still don't have a face, right? To 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 attach a name to, right? Hopefully, if you guys are coming to the Keystone Clash this year, we definitely will be meeting. Um, but this particular gentleman, even though he was younger than me, way more humble, way more mature than me for sure. Um, he was planning on coming to the Keystone Clash, and I was looking very forward to meeting him. And unfortunately, he passed away. Um, and that particular person was Myrtle Singh, um, a great human being that I had the pleasure of speaking with both through live streams and in person. We were exchanging emails, talking about composing music, and he generously gave me some pictures that he took of plants that I have on the website for me to use. Um, and um, and he was definitely somebody that I wanted to learn, to get to know more, and to be as close of a friend as a lot of you were with him as well. And unfortunately, that cannot happen. And me and my family, our condolences go out to his family, to everybody who knew him, and we lost a dear soul. And when I heard of the news, um, I was very emotional, but it solidified my belief in the fact that we don't know when our last days will be. We do not know. You can be 20 years old, you can be 30, you can be 80, you can be 10. We do not know when our time comes. As a matter of fact, this concept this concept is well spoken about in my faith. And so which is why you we need to do our best to make the days that we do have, however many they would to be the best person we can, right? To be kind to one another, to help one another, to be friendly, to laugh, to cry, to grieve with, to be there for one another, right? And to just be as positive as you can, um, because life is short. And Myrtle Singh was a prime example of that. And hopefully one day we will all get to meet Myrtle again. Um, and I know Myrtle is the type of person who, even after his passing, would want us to continue to talk aquariums, to talk plants, to talk about doing water changes, using CO2, right? Um, but but yeah, and I posted in the description of this video, and if any of the um, moderators would like to post the link to his merch store. I did buy a mug from his store. It was the scenic mug, which I think is a beautiful picture of one of his tanks on there. But I wanted to have something that represents just how good Myrtle was as a fish keeper, as a aquascaper, but as a human, a great human being who cared about the community, who cared about all of us, who was always kind. Um, and I wanted something to remind me of that. And so I strongly encourage you guys, if you haven't already, or if you were thinking or anything like that, check out Myrtle's YouTube channel, because you'll get to see just how much of a great composer he was. I'm into music, I'm into instrumental music. One of my dreams was to be a film composer. Um, and let me tell you, there was definitely some jealousy when I when I listened to Myrtle's music. Um, but just great music. So I strongly encourage you guys to check that out. Check out his merch store, grab something from there. um definitely will help, um help the community, help the family, his family. If it I know Steven and everybody are trying to figure out how the merch store is working right now, but um for me and for a lot of us, is just the concept of having something of his that reminds of us of him. And for me, I decided to go with that mug. So please make sure you check that out. Um and yeah, but yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about. It was definitely very hard when I heard the news, um but I know Myrtle would not want us to grieve for as long as we have grieved for. And it's actually a big thing in our faith, in my faith, where whenever we have somebody pass away, we have what would, at the time of the funeral, we have about 3 days, 3 days of grievance. After that, you move on, because that part of life is part of everybody's life. It comes, it goes. We're not all going to be on this earth forever, right? And so, but for me in this case, it was difficult to just grieve for those 3 days. You know, but yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have. If anybody has any questions about anything, any comments, before class is dismissed, um, it's 3:49, so we still have a little bit of time. Um, but yeah. Oh there, Homer. Thank you very much for stopping by. Big Steve, welcome. Happy Easter. Thank you, Zen, for sharing Myrtle's fish family. Please check it out, guys. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else. So update on the macroalgae setup. It is currently on pause. Um, I've just been really busy during these last couple of weeks. Ramadan has taken a lot of time. But we're in the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is actually the most holiest days for us. So I've been focusing a lot on that. So I've just decided to put that project to the side for now. But once Ramadan is over, it's all steam ahead for that project. Um, so stay tuned for updates on that. Stay tuned for videos on that. Um, I'm pretty excited about it. I've been trying to take some time that I have to do a lot of research. I am reaching out to at least one person who is well known for his macroalgae aquascapes to get some pointers, hopefully. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, but yeah. So let's see here. No other questions. I don't see anything. Cool. I'm sure most people are just listening in, which is perfectly okay. I am trying to figure out if I want to change my live streams. Like I've been doing my live streams on Sundays at 3. But I have started noticing lesser attendance and lesser activity in the chats, probably because people are either working or busy or doing something and are just listening in, which is totally fine. Um, but I like to interact with you guys in the comments, especially. So I'm trying to figure out a better time um, to do the live streams, probably in the evening. Um, so stay tuned. That for now, it's still gonna be Sundays at 3. But I am trying to figure out what I want to do in regards to that. But I will make sure to update you guys on any changes that will be done. Um, but yeah, okay. So unless anybody has any other questions for me, anything, I think we will call it a day. Um, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to hit that notification bell if that way you don't miss another live stream or another video. If you are watching the replay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sorry you missed it, but I do appreciate it. Hit the like button if you liked the video. If you didn't, that's totally fine. Um, and sorry, chat was jumping a little bit. Oh, hello there, Rebecca. Thank you very much for stopping by. There was a slight clash for anyone that keeps marine or anybody that keeps marine as Reef Dork has just finished. Sundays I find a little busy to prepare for work. Oh, okay, totally fine. Yeah, for sure. There are other live streams going on that are way better than mine. But yeah, so I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I always do. You guys are the best, without a doubt. Um, if you do have any other questions, any comments, anything after the live stream's over, put them down in the comments. I love interacting with you guys when you comment on videos. Um, and I will see you guys around. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful Sunday. The weather is getting a little nicer, for sure. So enjoy it while you can, guys. And I will see you next time. Take care. Enjoy your fish. I'll see you.